Him the almighty power hurled headlong flaming from the ethereal sky with hideous ruin and combustion down to bottomless perdition, there to dwell in adamantine chains and penal fire. Who durst defy the omnipotent to arms? Hello and welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host Liam, aka Himbar, and today will be a spoiler-free review of Matt Holder's Hurled Headlong Flaming, or The Bishop's Tale. The Bishop's Tale, or Hurled Headlong Flaming, which is kind of a tongue twister for me, is a 2024 book novella, technically, and first of the King Blades, and actually the first physical publication produced by Spiral Tower Press. And this is a sword and sorcery novella, but one that is very much worth checking out. I say that but should not be there. A lot of sword and sorcery is very much worth checking out, but the title itself comes from John Milton's Paradise Lost, which is actually what I was quoting at the beginning. So this book actually starts with two epigrams. One I was not familiar with, says it was from the 10th century, though it's actually not, which is kind of a joke, I think. And the other is from Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse 5. And then in the other parts for the book, there's a quote from Plato and another one from Michel Foucault. And then the story itself actually starts on Cyprus in January 1291. The bishop, an Englishman, is the narrator, going by title only, contemplates truth in other things as he goes to see a detainee, an infidel, as this is during the time of the Crusades. The bishop is not soft, we learn this quickly, at his displeasure with someone being tortured, is kind of aggressive, I guess. We also learn of his motive, that of a book, of a map in a way, but a book. So we get some quotes from Urban II at the Council of Claremont, also from the New Testament, really putting the time period into perspective. It is a good historical fantasy in the sword and sorcery tradition, right? Sword and sandal-ish. It takes obvious inspiration from older works like Dante and Milton. And that being said, though, it is actually very easy to read. It's dark, it's violent. The beginning reminds me of a scene from Clark Ashton Smith's Apocalypse of Evil, and I say beginning when it finally gets into a certain point. But part two is a dialogue, the kind you read in a philosophy text. And it is about, truth being tied to authority and power. It's obviously a terrible conclusion, but it doesn't seem wrong either. For those who think this doesn't sound very metal or sword and sorcery-esque, it's very short, and it's not like too far out there. It's not like probably going to go over really any reader's heads, I think. And then part three is a journal from the bishop, and thus ends the tale, though there is also a short coda. But I really appreciate this look at another world, also the grand and terrible city that we see a lot, and also this idea of death that feels kind of like a great blending of older styles and that of sword and sorcery, and just some more modern philosophy as well. I try to do some similar things in some of my own writing, but I think Holder does a good job here, and I'm interested to read more by him. But we get some good looks at perspective, tools, and their changes, kind of like a spiritual change. I've seen the author cite from swords and the plowshares type of thing. But we also get looks at reality, truth, and what that means, and there's lots of allusions here. But it's a good read. It's short, but it's a nice physical copy, right, that you kind of get from other more recent from the genre, like Fulmar's Frolic on the Amaranthine or Odin's The White Lion. So there's some things to think about, but lots of the heavy metal imagery, and it's entertaining, right, if you don't want to think about it, I guess. And it's very easy to get through regardless. So anyways, Liam from Liam's Lyceum, check it out.